Hello, everybody. Welcome to another movie chat. I'm Joe Mayo, along with Tim Allen and Tom Hunyadi. And we're here to talk about movies again and maybe talk about some things we've seen and maybe some items we've acquired. I know I have one I want to show. I hope nobody watched my video yet. You probably already did. I don't know. But even though I made a video on it, I have a second video coming up now that I think of it about it, more detail what I bought that I can premiere here, the details. All right. So good to see that James Farley has joined us along with Beetle Eddie. Amazon's having a big sale, 4K with Blu-ray movies, 3 for $33.
Right.
Have you, Tom, you said last time that you got 4K player, or you're going to get one?
No, yeah, probably my next check or so, next week. Thinking about pulling the plug for sure.
Let us know. Let us know what you.
Oh yeah.
What you got? When you do get it. Okay, so it hasn't been a big week for me as far as seeing movies. I the problem I have, I got to keep notes because as I get older, I can't remember. Like, what did I talk about on the last show? But also when you do different live streams, your own live streams and things, I mentioned it there, but not here. I don't know. I don't know if I talked about. I say I watched Werner Herzog's Nosferatu from '79. Yep.
Yes.
I talked about both of them last time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk about Dead Again, which I did make a video about this. So I'm just going to repeat myself here. This movie, Dead Again, is a favorite movie of my girlfriend's. And we've been together for a number of years now. She's always trying to get me to watch it. And for some reason, I go, I think you'll really like this one. Well, it was okay. It's pretty good, right? Either one of you guys see this?
Yeah, a long time ago. I'm a big Kenneth Branagh fan, so I did enjoy that. I don't think it's on Blu-ray or 4K, so I haven't upgraded.
Really?
That one. Yeah, I have to check.
That's my feelings on it was, I know my girlfriend loves that movie. I think it's Somewhere in Time. She loves stuff like, time travel, reincarnation, romance, all this kind of thing. So it's not surprising to me that she really likes this movie. And, it's about, I like, I keep wanting to say Emma Stone. I always got to watch out for her, whatever. Emma Thompson. I like her. Yeah. And Brown, I always say Branagh. I think it's Branagh, right? Without the G.
Yeah, Branagh, yeah.
Yeah, I made a lot of mistakes that in my video, but needless to say, for those who don't know, it's a reincarnation story, really. These two here in the 1940s were a pianist and her husband was a writer, a composer, and he was murdered, but by who and this and that, and did she murder him and this and that? And then they have a modern day, you go from the 40s to the modern day 1990s, right? Yeah. And in the 1990s, you have to try to discover with them, who did it and maybe get this woman's mind clear because she's got amnesia. And they have a hypnotist that goes into their heads and this and that and tries to work it all out and see who's who. And it's a kind of whodunit too. And I was satisfied with that aspect of it, like how the ending was, which I won't reveal, like, the ending of who's responsible and this and that. But I don't know. I thought there was some plot holes in here. They threw in Newman. Wayne Knight was in there in a funny friend kind of role. And on the side, and you had Robin Williams, who's uncredited, I believe, in here, and he plays like he's got a sixth sense about these things. He's like, the friend or whatever, or person who like, I can tell you a little bit about these spirits and these things and everything else. I don't know. And then in the end, they had some slow motion effects at the end, which I thought were really kind of unintentionally funny. And I don't know if you guys do this, but a lot of times I think, wait, was there really that many plot holes in there? Was it really unintentionally like funny without meaning to be, or was it me? And then I look at reviews. I go to IMDb and I look at some of the lesser reviews, and sure enough, a lot of people said those things. So, I'm not crazy,
Right.
But They do that a lot, like slow motion. You know when they do that, like they have commercials even like that, like
Right.
slow motion.
Yeah.
Oh, the guy knocks the glass of milk on the rug with a grape juice. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, they're jumping. It's like it was the funniest thing to me, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Mm.
I don't want to ever see it again.
Yeah. I think Brana and Emma were a real life couple at the time.
Yeah, I think I read about that
Of
after
filming. Who directed that one again?
him. He did.
Brana directed it. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's that. And as far as you guys, what have you seen? I'll tell you about my pickup later. Tim, let's start with you today.
Okay, well,
Wait until last time.
I haven't picked anything up. Actually, I bought 3 seasons of a series, and I found out I already had them, so I'm not even going to count those. But they were only $1 a piece, and when you're picking,
Right.
series up,
I'm going to step away, but keep going.
It's it's all right. One thing I wanted to do is I forgot about 2 movies last week, and there were 2 movies I really wanted to talk about. So I'm going to talk about those first. And they're both quote unquote controversial. One's not a full movie. One's only like 28 minutes of a movie. But I found out on YouTube you can see 28 minutes of Jerry Lewis's The Clown That Cried.
Right.
And it's enough to get an idea of what this movie was. And it just made me want to see it even more, believe it or not. It didn't turn me off in the least. I learned a few things about his character. He's not Jewish, which I figured he was in a camp because nope, he's not Jewish. He was a clown in a circus. And one night, he was like an animal wrangler clown, and one night one of the animals, I forget if it was a horse or an elephant or what, got away from him and didn't kill him or anything, didn't even hurt him, just embarrassed him, the major star of the circus. So the star made the owner fire Jerry Lewis. So that night Jerry Lewis was in a bar, drunk off his butt. And this is in 1939 or 1940 or something, and he's falling asleep at the bar, and he's trashed, and the bartender's trying to throw him out, and he looks up, and there's a picture of Hitler on the wall, and Jerry Lewis just starts going off on Hitler. Well, next thing you know, he's being escorted out by 2 SS agents, taken to a German headquarters and interrogated by a guard, or not a guard, a lieutenant, an officer. And Jerry Lewis tells him the story and apologizes, and he's like, I don't feel that way. I was just really drunk and I lost my job. And the officer surprisingly says, I believe you and you're free to go. And Jerry's like, really? He's like, yeah, I'm free to go. You're free to go. And so he leaves, and as soon as he leaves, the officer gets on the phone and says, arrest that man that's leaving the building. I think he's very dangerous. And Jerry Lewis is hauled off to a concentration camp.
And he cried.
No. And he's living his life. I mean, again, this is really condensed. He's living his life there. And he's a clown, so he does clown things once in a while just to entertain himself. And there's apparently all of these, it's in a neighborhood or something, and all of these Jewish kids keep showing up on the outside of the fence. So Jerry starts entertaining them. And the guards do not like this. The commandant does not like this because they're Jewish kids and they are worse than garbage. He gets beaten and put in solitaire and all of this stuff, but he just doesn't stop. And eventually, and I don't know how, because I've always seen they wind up getting the kids inside the camp. And then it becomes Jerry's job to lead them to the showers. And he's got 2 options. He can do it. And this is where I think the film, and I don't know, and we will never know. this is where the film gets interesting for me. He can do it, or he can, be killed. That's his options. He can do it and be free. They'll let him out of prison. They tell him anyway. They'll let him go if he does it, and if he doesn't, he'll be killed. But what you don't know,
and then he cried.
No, but it's.
I'm just.
What you don't know. What you don't know is, okay. You know that he's going to lead them into the showers. Okay, this part from what I've seen. But what you don't know is, does he stay with them?
Right. Yeah, and the thing is, you don't know how long he has to do it in order to be free.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You don't know. Well, you assume they just got this one group of kids, but you don't know. But you don't know. He might, for all you know, he might stay with them in the shower and die himself. You don't know. So it's just, to me, that's fascinating, and it's only 28 minutes, and it's on YouTube, and I recommend anybody watch it.
Sounds longer than 28 minutes.
No, it's not. And they cut it together the best they can. There's a couple of short interviews with Jerry as an old man in the middle of it, just tying things together a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's under or I forget what the video's called, something like reviewing this movie or so, but it's not. It's what they have of the movie. And the other movie I saw, also on YouTube from last week, that I want to talk about, very controversial, very, very controversial movie. I couldn't believe it was on YouTube, to be honest. And I'm serious about that part. I couldn't believe it was on YouTube. Mine is 2 songs, but they're not cut out. Just it goes silent because of YouTube's copyright laws.
Right.
The Song of the South is on YouTube.
Oh.
So
yeah, I thought you mentioned this now. You mentioned this not too long ago.
Yeah, and again, it's not. But I didn't watch it. It's not. If you want to find it, it says it's a review of Song of the South, but it's a 137-minute review. So it's not a review of the Song of the South. Yeah. It's the entire film.
The movie's 137 minutes.
Yeah, that's how long the movie is. Well, no, an hour and 37 minutes, not 197 minutes.
Okay,
so
that's long too.
So, and I guess I can understand sort of why it's like a banned film, but it's a really good kids film. There's no racism going on. There's not even any talk of slavery. In fact, Uncle Remus isn't a slave, which blew my mind. I always just assumed he was a happy slave, and that's one of the main reasons of the film. But he's not a slave. It's just a nice little film about a guy who this kid's father is too busy for him, so he sends him and his mother to live with his sister on this plantation. And he befriends this little black kid, and the little black kid introduces him to Uncle Remus, and he loves Uncle Remus. All the kids love Uncle Remus, and Uncle Remus just tells stories. That's basically all he does all day, is sit around telling stories to people.
And then there's animation in the film as well.
There's some animation, yeah, and there's one bit I can see people getting upset about a quote unquote.
Yeah, let's not discuss it.
Yeah, okay. I won't discuss it, but they don't say what it is. It's so you don't even. To me, it's just all foolishness, and this movie should be seen. It's a good Disney movie, and there's nothing controversial about it at all. And I was happy, and I recommend again seeing it, so you'll see that there's nothing going on here.
Yeah, it should be out. Even it should be out.
Yeah,
in its entirety. Yeah. Even if they want to put a disclaimer or something.
Yeah, you can put one of those silly disclaimers at the beginning. Yeah. But yeah. So Zippity Doodah is one of the 2 songs removed, unfortunately. But you know what's going on. You've all seen it. We've all seen it anyway. That part. So like I said, they don't cut the video; just the sound goes out. So you still got it. So those are the controversial movies. I saw, and then
yeah, they sound pretty controversial.
Yeah, well, they're not. I don't think either one
It's
of them
tough when
are.
you're
But in
running a channel. It's tough.
today's world, they're very controversial
I
movies.
no, I get that, but you know, I don't make the rules.
I've only watched. Other than that, I've only watched movies put out by Something Weird Video, and I'll be doing that for a while. I may throw some other things in once in a while when I get bored, but I haven't yet. And last week I watched the Wrong Rut. I can't show the cases because they're in storage, but I do have. This is the Wrong Rut, and then I talked about that last week, and then Birthright. Birthright was made for like $5. This thing doesn't even have actors. It stars like real people from down south where this was filmed. And it's about this farmer guy that fools around on his wife one night when he goes into the city and gets VD, and then he doesn't tell her, and it's an anti-VD movie, and she's pregnant, gets pregnant, and she's got VD, and does the baby have VD, and the whole thing, and it's just all a warning, it's one of those. And of course, there's a birth of a baby scene in it. There has to be,
right.
And then the special features.
Was that like one of the
every sort of
requirements?
birth you can have in the special features.
That was like that was a requirement to be on the Something Weird label, right? Is there had to be a birth scene in the movie?
No,
right?
no. But it was a thing. It was an exploitation thing because nobody ever seen that, and it's also a way to show a woman.
Yeah,
in naked or mostly naked and lower body parts of a woman, and it's a way to see that. As gross as it is, it was a legal way to get around that.
Well, you covered the gamut today,
huh?
You got religion, you got
you got
sex, you got racism, we got everything.
Then I watched this film is fairly terrible, but it has a commentary which is worth the price of admission. The Wizard of Gore.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
And there's a commentary with Mike Rainey, who started Something Weird, and David F. Friedman, who produced and directed the.
I have to take.
Not David F. Friedman. What's his name?
Wait a minute.
I can't think of his name. Herschel Gordon Lewis.
Yeah, hold on, Tim. Hold on a minute. Okay, this is the Herschel Gordon Lewis set. Yeah, that looks like a freaking cereal box. That's the idea. It's got like cereal box.
Yeah. I don't have that.
And it's got Wizard of Gore on it and other stuff. Like some of this is by Arrow. This thing. It's like 2 volumes.
Oh, that's why I don't have it.
It's 3 volumes. It's like the worst freaking movies ever.
Oh yeah, Herschel. Well, there's worse than Herschel Gordon Lewis, but
I mean, Wizard of Gore. Is that one? That's one. Is that the one when you just see the guy like he's putting like swords into people and stuff like that?
Yeah. He's a quote unquote magician, and what he is he's a hypnotist, and he can hypnotize his audience into not seeing what they're actually seeing. So he gets these women on stage, and he actually cuts one in half with a chainsaw. He really does it. And he everything he's doing, and it shows him really doing it, and then it shows what the audience sees, which is basically nothing. And then they get up and walk away. He hypnotized them too. They get up and walk away, and then like 10 minutes later, they go somewhere and die. It's really kind of bizarre. But the interesting thing, the guy that plays the Wizard of Gore was just one of his guys that always showed up, one of his crew, and the guy that was supposed to star in the film, like 10 minutes before they're about to shoot, walked off, had an argument with Herschel Gordon Lewis, and said "screw you" and left. So Herschel Gordon Lewis just grabbed this guy and said, "You do it," and throw a wig on him and a mustache, and off they went.
Yeah, those movies are they're nothing. They don't even take it seriously.
So that's brilliant. I watched that, and then I watched The Wild World of Jane Mansfield and The Labyrinth of Sex, which are both just Mondo films, basically. I'm watching it in reverse alphabetical order of what I have. So, the Jane Mansfield film is only really interesting because, well, she takes you to basic. She's all over Europe and a lot of topless clubs and stuff. Mainly is what it is. It's
but she's not topless though.
She's a little bit in mostly from 3 Nuts and a Bolt, but a little tiny bit. But then before the movie came out, she died, so they pulled it, and then they cover that at the end of the movie, which is just like a hard right turn. You go from nudie bars in Europe to Jane Mansfield is dead, and they show her crash, and they show the dead dog that you see all through the movie that she's carrying. It's pretty it's pretty weird. And The Labyrinth of Sex is just a movie about, again, a Mondo movie about all the deviances they were called in like 1970 or whenever this thing came out. I've got it right here. 1969. The Wild World of Jane Mansfield was 68. And all it's just like how you get to be a homosexual and how you get to be a trans.
Is there anything left today? Any subjects today?
Well, this is welcome to the world of something weird. This is.
Well, I know something weird. I had a lot of them too. I got rid of most of them,
but the most interesting thing I will say about the Jane Mansfield thing, and it's only the Something Weird version, I think. It's been out on Blu-ray since, but I don't know if it has this special feature. Special features are the best things about Something Weird videos. There's always tons of them. And this one has it's called the Coke, something about a Coke and an apple. But it's a Marilyn it's a Marilyn Monroe nudie short that she did. It's really Marilyn Monroe. And I didn't know I had this thing. And I'm like, Marilyn Monroe did a stag film? And yes, she did. And it really is her. It's 6 parts. And to me, that's the best part of that whole disc.
Can you loan that to me for a few?
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe trying to get an apple from a tree and then eating it with a Coke, and that's basically the 6 parts of the thing. And she is in the altogether by the end of it.
Tim, did you like the hit film High School Musical? What is that? That's a joke, right? That's one of his jokes, Richard James.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a joke.
All right.
So, that's basically what I've watched so far. They will get into real movies eventually. They're just, like I said, I'm watching them in reverse alphabetical order. So.
No, like a lot of those were fun. I went through a period where I bought a lot of those.
I haven't watched them in a long time. That's why I've decided I should watch them.
Let me keep the weird tone of this going with the Southern California. Are you affected, Chauncey Phillips, by any of those wildfires?
Probably, and he might be in San Diego then if he's Southern California. I mean, although LA is southern a little bit, but
4-hour cut of Once
cool.
Upon a Time in America.
Nice, yeah. That makes a lot more sense.
I just found out my nearest overpriced FYE store is going out of business. 40-50% of DVDs and Blu-rays. I know where I'm going after dinner.
Yeah, well, I mean, even after half off, they're still overpriced. FYE is very expensive.
Yeah.
Let me just see before I continue here. I got to keep up with this. Thinking of seeing a double bill on Saturday of Maria starring Angelina Jolie and Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to a Complete Unknown premiere in Ireland on Tuesday. Can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Let me know what you think.
Very good.
Let's see. Okay. Now before wait a minute. Okay. Had to evacuate in a hotel right now. Hopefully going home tomorrow. Well, hope things work out all right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put the paper on the window. I know what that is. When I was talking about my things watched, I forgot about something I could have thrown in here just to beef it up a little. Every night I've been watching at least 3 of these.
Oh yeah.
Taxi series, Taxi, which of course, I grew up with. I saw them, good show. And it's great to revisit these. I think the real standout in this, well, 2 standouts. First of all, Danny DeVito as Louis De Palma. I mean, I remember when this started, there was no Danny DeVito per se. I mean, he was in other things like Cuckoo's Nest and things like that, but he was Louis De Palma. Now when you see Danny DeVito, you think all the things he's done, he's not just that character anymore. But it's such a good character. And also, my girlfriend's favorite and becoming mine, Christopher Lloyd as Jim Ignatoski, who's like his brains are fried from drugs and everything. He's got great lines in these things, and a lot of funny bits. I never liked Andy Kaufman. I do not like Andy. I never did, but I like his character in this. Was Latka. It's kind of funny to me.
You don't like Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza?
Tony Danza, well, like the song. That's how I was supposed to do back in the day. That's how I wanted my hair, just the way it is there, that feathered back kind of part of it. I still got it in the middle. I'm still doing a Tony Danza a little bit. That's still supposed to be what my hair is, even though it's out of style. And the most annoying character or boring character on here, unfortunately, is Bobby, played by, I can't remember his name. I know Jeff Conaway. Rest his soul.
From Grease.
Grease. Rest his soul. I mean, I heard that he was so high on cocaine behind the scenes of one of these shows that he was fired after season 3. His character's just not interesting. But other than that, great show. Did I say Judd Hirsch? I love Judd Hirsch in here as Alex.
No, I love Judd Hirsch and Mary Lou Hanna were probably my 2 favorites.
Mary Lou Hanna, sure, yeah.
You can find some good pictures of her online.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
What a show. But I've got to say, I'll look for them after the show, by the way. I'm just trying to downplay it. But yeah, it's a good cast, good cast. It's just, except for poor Jeff, but mostly his character, I think is, yeah.
Did you guys know that this is true? Mary Lou Hanna has a photographic memory.
Yes.
That's why she's a good actress. She just reads the script once and she knows it.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, I think I heard that.
She doesn't do anymore. She's done.
Yeah. She was on a talk show, and I think she talked about that.
Yeah.
Those wildfires are affecting the homes of James Wood, Steve Guttenberg. Wow. And Sarah Michelle Gellar. I say wow for Steve Guttenberg because I know he's on Long Island, or used to be, grew up on Long Island. Sarah Michelle Gellar, right?
Well, I know Jamie Lee Curtis, I think, has lost her home.
I feel sorry for them. Don't get me wrong, but
they'll be fine.
I feel sorry for everybody, the poor people too. Middle class.
Yeah.
Okay, Christian. So you love A Complete Unknown? Great. I loved it too.
Excellent.
Do you think Kramer from Seinfeld is a ripoff of Jim from Taxi? Maybe. I never really thought about it. Maybe. I don't know, ripoff. He's a cross between Jim from Taxi and Ed Norton, as far as I'm concerned. Because the same thing. Ed Norton, from The Honeymoon, is always coming into the apartment unannounced, opening the door. Hey, what's going on? It's the same kind of thing. Kramer's good. So before I get to Tom's bringing up the rear this time. I just want to show you this quick. It's I did a video about it. I went to a used store, a record store actually, and they had DVDs there, and I picked this up. It was a Blu-ray, which is, I gotta know the history of this because this was $1.99, and this is like the kind of things Tim finds, the kind of bargains that Tim usually finds. The Complete Adventures the 4 Indiana Jones movies before the last one, the Dial of Death or whatever the
Yeah.
other 4.
Yeah.
And it's on Blu-ray for $2. Now I don't have I only really care about the first one. I don't love the other ones. I've seen all of them, but it's been a while since I saw the one with The Last Crusade with Sean Connery. So maybe I'll give that another view. But the point is, for $2 to get the first movie I want and the other ones, why not, right? So I said, why would it only be $2? You know, I mean, let's see. So anyway, so I get the thing. This is the inside, and it's these freaking things. I'm going to blow this up. This is the video I'm going to be making for tomorrow. You know, the pages, okay?
Yeah. They did the same thing for the last Star Wars box set too.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. I can't get them out. I mean, I really struggled. I'll try one here live. I mean, let me see. The last 2 I know were tough. I could hear it.
There you go.
Oh, that was an easy one. But this is unacceptable. And I mean, for $2, it's acceptable. I mean, when they first released it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like I did with the Laurel and Hardy set. I'm going to get these out. And from what I could see, based on the ones I've taken out so far, there's not a lot. There's no like scratches or anything deforming them or anything. But my fingerprints are all over them because I mean I really got to like pull to get it out. So anyway, that's pretty funny. But I wipe the fingerprints off and I'm going to put them in like the little sleeves.
I don't remember having that. I don't remember having that much difficulty with my set. I have that exact same one, and
oh, you do?
Yeah, but I didn't get it for $2 though. I bought it. I remember buying that at Best Buy when it first came out.
You know, maybe. I mean, I can't see the year on this now, but it's old. I mean, but 2012. So in 12 years or so, you know, maybe this thing hasn't watched much, and they really like locked in there, you know. But it's still terrible.
I don't like about it. What I don't like about it is they went back and they renamed Raiders of the Lost Ark and they called it Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah,
and they did that with Star Wars also, right?
Star Wars, and and they ended up naming it A New Hope. Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah. But they say, if I'm not mistaken, on the actual film itself, the title is the same. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I think it's the same. Yeah.
They didn't play around with it on screen. They just did it on the paperwork and packaging. All right, so now I think we're done, right, Tim? Yeah, you're done too.
Yeah.
And unless you have anything else there, bud.
No.
All right, so now it's Tom. Tom's turn to let us know what's doing in the Tom world.
All right. Well, I showed this last year when I picked it up, and another controversial thing. This is, and that's the Caligula Ultimate set.
I would do Caligula.
Yeah. So, but the funny thing is like, okay, so they had the new cut in there, and then they had the old cut, which they didn't do any kind of restoration whatsoever to it. However, they did cut out the dirty bits. So the dirty bits are no longer in the Caligula that came out in 1980. So that was kind of funny. This was like my New Year's Day watch was the original Caligula. And come to find out that they didn't, or they took out the dirty bits. So last Thursday when we left the live show, I went to go see the latest Clint Eastwood movie, Juror Number 2, which people are calling the last Clint Eastwood movie, but there's never been any announcement that this was going to be his last movie. The film stars Nicholas Hoult, who was in the Nosferatu movie. And I think this is a really good movie. This is a courtroom drama. It has 12 Angry Men feel to it. Joe, if you watch this movie, you're gonna, as soon as they get into the, as soon as the jury gets into the back room and starts, doing their votes and whatnot, you'll laugh because it plays a lot like 12 Angry Men.
Well, it's like, isn't that like everything today?
Right. Yeah. Well,
we just talked about Kramer and
yeah. But it's a really good movie. Toni Collette is really good in the movie. I like the cast. J.K. Simmons is in it, and he plays one of the jurors as well. Really good. I mean, for '94, look, I mean, the guy's making quality films. That's Clint Eastwood. So I enjoyed it. Um, Tonight, well, it was, yeah, because after the movie was filmed, got Bob Guccione then added that stuff after the fact.
That's why
So then tonight,
today's a perfect day to talk about Caligula.
yeah,
Sure.
tonight when we're done here, I'm gonna go see the new movie called The Last Showgirl, which was with Pam Anderson, who she just got nominated for a Golden Globe award for that, and she got nominated for a SAG award too, which is the Screen Actors Guild. And Jamie Lee Curtis got nominated for Best Supporting Actress. So I'm gonna go see that tonight. And it's quick, 90-minute film, so that'll be good. And then one of my top 10 films of last year was Saturday Night, and that just came out on Blu-ray. So I picked that up, and this is the 90 minutes
Oh,
leading up
about
to the Saturday Night Live. This is the 90
Saturday Night
minutes
Live.
that led up to the first episode of Saturday Night Live. So I really like this. It's a lot of chaos going on, really quick pace, a lot of quick edits, and nonstop. I think that's one of the things that I liked about this film is it just kept going and going. So, but yeah, I mean that's uh, that's been it so far for me. Again, I'm going to see movie tonight, and then there's more movies coming out that are still from last year that haven't had a wide release yet. These films are finally starting to come are getting a wider release. So I'll definitely be checking out some more films here in the coming weeks. However, I want to try to talk you into going to see the werewolf movie, Joe, because I think maybe that I've heard some really good things.
Which one is
However,
this?
though, this is the new werewolf movie,
Not the
where
Wolfman.
no, was it the Werewolf Man or whatever? I don't remember the name of the movie, but this is the one where looks like the family's moving or whatever, and then the father gets attacked, and then
Yeah, I think
uh,
it's called. I think it's the
yeah,
Wolfman second remake.
Wolfman, yeah,
I'll
something
take
like
the
that.
Lon
But
Chaney Jr. in 1941. Thank you.
yeah, oh, I know you will. I will you. But I've been hearing some really good things about this new one. But then again, I mean, we haven't seen it, so it's for us to decide. But
Yeah, well, I'll get if I hear a lot of good things, I may give it a try. I took a chance with
right,
Nosferatu, and I was
right,
disappointed, but I took the chance. But that doesn't mean
yeah,
doesn't mean I'm going to be disappointed with this one.
right,
Uh,
right.
so maybe I'll see it.
Yeah.
It's out already or it's coming out.
No, I think it comes out next week, the 17th.
Yeah, I've been asking myself this question for a while. When are they going to do a proper restoration of Marty? That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, love that one.
I have a DVD. I hope do I still have the DVD? I might have gotten rid of it thinking I was going to get a
Mm.
Blu-ray or something. I got it like an
Yeah,
early
Kino.
DVD and it's a bad print
Yeah,
or bad,
it
it's
is.
not that great.
Yeah, yeah. Kino released a Blu-ray of it that looks pretty good.
Oh, then I got it. I mean, well,
Mm.
what do you mean when you say do a proper restoration? Why that one wasn't good enough? The
What, the
Kino?
DVD?
The Kino?
No,
I mean,
no,
he's saying,
I'm saying that the Kino one looks good. I just don't know if they did a proper restoration. It's a nice transfer.
no,
Unlike that DVD version that came out, 24 years ago or whatever it was. But
I have
yes,
the, yeah.
yes, yeah,
I didn't love it. Me with Criterion. It was, all right. I was never in the audience for Saturday Night Live.
that's.
No.
I would love one day to be in the audience for Saturday Night Live.
Do we still make VHS copies? What do you mean of new movies? No, right?
No, no, they don't. But that VHS kind of is having a little bit of a resurgence
Yeah,
lately.
somebody put something out this year, well, late last year on VHS. I can't remember what it was. Walmart even carried it.
Yeah, but
I can't remember. It was a horror movie. I know that. I guarantee it was a
yeah,
horror movie,
maybe
but
it was called. You made the VHS horror film. It could have been that.
I don't know. But yeah, no. So occasionally is that answer, but not really.
Mm.
Not mass market sort of way.
I mean, they haven't made a VHS player in God knows how long, 30 years maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, it's weird.
Like 20, 15 and 20.
I still got the whole movie VHS that I shot on my old camcorder like this. I used to hold like this of my nephews, when they were small, and I got to get some of them transferred. But Fast Time should have been a 2-hour film. Why did they delete so many scenes that served the film? I think I've seen some of those deleted scenes.
Well, when it went to TV, when they aired it on TV, they added some scenes that weren't in the film, in the film version. So you could be thinking that because there is two different two cuts of the film. I think the television version and the film version.
I mean, I thought it was all right as it was, but I'm trying to remember now because now you mention it, I had a friend. I mean, back in the 80s when we first got VCRs and stuff, and I remember like watching like scenes that weren't used or something, and we used to get a kick out of it. I mean, the movie's okay. I remember, walking through the mall, and I was walking through the mall, and they had like a theater right outside the mall, and there was these little TV screens they had in the mall where they were showing you trailers, and I saw Phoebe Cates, and I said, I gotta see this movie. I don't want to know nothing. I gotta see this. And I was around her age. It was perfect. So went for Beta and Laserdisc. I didn't go for either. Myself.
I love Laserdisc.
Well, those were the two more expensive. Those were the two expensive. Excuse me. Mediums.
But the thing in the mid 80s through 2000, they wanted films to be no more than 2 hours. 90 was. I mean, Miramax is famous for trimming their films down to 90 minutes exactly. You pick up a Miramax film from the late 80s or 90s, look at the runtime, you got a 50% chance that it's going to be 90 minutes on the nose. Because they wanted people in and out,
Oh, right.
So, I mean, like,
short of the movie,
Jackie
the
Chan
more
films are all ruined, when they came to America, a lot like films that people think, oh, that's not so great, are really good if you get to see the full-length Hong Kong version. There's so much cut out of some of them that there's nothing left.
Don't remember. How can I forget? Well, that's our show. we reached that point where we got nothing.
No,
I'm off to the movies.
Well, not yet. What time is your movie?
Yeah,
7:20.
Yeah.
Oh, how far is it from you?
About it's 115 miles.
I don't know that stuff. Tell me in minutes there, huh? Tell me in minutes.
On a highway, about 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a highway drive, unfortunately.
So I was thinking earlier today, weirdly, about either of you guys seen the movie High Fidelity?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite films.
It's all about the missing scene, right?
I love there's lots of missing scenes.
Well, the great one
that's a movie that I think could have benefited from at least a couple of the deleted scenes left in.
The Beverly D'Angelo scene with the
Beverly D'Angelo scene is the one. Because a lot of times they'll tell you, well, they took it out because it doesn't further the plot, but it tells you a lot about Rob, the main character, that you'd only get from that scene, that he's actually is a nice guy and he doesn't want to do this to this other collector. And that's, I think that scene, but there's a few scenes in there that I think should have been left in, but that one especially.
There's really only one Beverly D'Angelo scene that really counts anyways. So.
I
Well,
don't know what it is. What is it again? Remind me.
The first vacation film.
Oh, yes. I have that, but I don't remember that. I don't know it well.
You should go back and watch it.
All right, I will. I definitely will.
That scene has a lot in common with certain women in prison films.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I heard this. Somebody told me this. You probably told me this once before. Yeah, I saw the microphones in the top.
That's funny. And I just watched that 2 weeks ago, I think. I think it's you're not a fan of this film, are you, Joe? Did you say
Nope.
You're not a fan of this one, right?
I mean, I thought it was okay. I just didn't. I don't think it
Yeah.
was Academy Award material.
Yeah.
I haven't
I
seen
think
it. I've always wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, Tommy Lee Jones and Javier Bardem I think are fantastic.
Well, I remember liking Bardem as a great villain.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he's awesome villain.
That's what stuck out in my head.
Right.
The most about it, but yeah. So different strokes for different folks, eh?
There you go.
And yeah, funny how these things go.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well,
we're gonna make a 45-minute show. At least I'm trying to get out of here. Let's at least do an hour. No, could you go 6:30 or no?
Yeah. Let's do 6:30. Yeah.
At least do an hour. Come on, folks. It's up to you guys.
Films, but I guess
we should have things like to talk about when we have dead times like this. Like things in our minds to talk about. Yeah. Like I don't know what kind of movie screens you got, the TV screens.
One thing I did want to bring up, I was listening to one of your morning streams with Danny, and then what's his name popped up, and we were talking comics, and I was talking about omnibuses or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really the way to go these days. Is just the getting the the bigger hardcover omnibus. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
I love it. I'm getting carried away again. Look at that.
Yeah. Look out.
No.
Look out.
Well, the problem with that is, and I don't know enough about that. I wish I could talk to somebody who does. Like, for example, say I like to say, I want to collect every issue of the Amazing Spider-Man. I want the whole run. But when I say the whole run, I mean I'm 60s, 70s, and some 80s maybe. That's my time I like. I know they have some books, but from what I understand, you're not going to go from number 1 to say 300 in like 4 or 5 of them. They're not going to do books for everything. You may get a certain arc, a story arc, or something, or an artist or a writer, the best of the writer. I want to get every one in all in the books. I don't think you can do that. I'd like to know, because at this stage of the game, like I said, you talk about not collecting records anymore. I talk about it, or stuff like building up too much crap. I'm like, why am I going with comics? Really? I mean, come on.
Well, in a way, those will take up more room too.
Yeah. Look, this is going on all the time with me trying to think what to do with this.
Listen, I was in a comic store today and I picked up 2 titles. So yeah, it's just.
But some of them, of course, certain books, can be like $100 for a certain book, or $50, whatever, $75. I can't go there. I can't do that. And like I say, it takes some people who collect 10 years to get a whole run. Like if you want to collect all of Spider-Man or something, it may take you 10 years.
Right.
No, thank you, Cherry Card. I never cared about stamp collecting. Raising Arizona, did we talk about it? I think I saw that in the movies.
No. Yeah, I think that's one of Nicolas Cage's earliest good roles. I think he really shined in that film. I like Raising Arizona a lot.
That was my ex-wife's favorite film, so I don't particularly care for it.
I might have walked out on it. I only walked out on like 2 or 3 movies in my life. That might have been one of them. If so, I don't know.
I thought Nicolas Cage was too over the top. I mean, I get what he's doing, but for me, he was just way too over the top for me.
I liked when John Goodman came out from under the from the ground up, escaping the prison or whatever. It was good.
He said the blind man. So yeah, collecting, boy, oh boy. You know, it's great. Today I was in. This is unrelated, but what the hell? I was in a record store and I happened to see in the wild, so to speak, the new Ringo Starr "Stop and Smell the Roses" picture disc, and I'm like, I wasn't going to get that. And I see it there. I'm like, that's a cool image for me to have on a record going around and around with the roses. And I'm like, no. I didn't buy it. But, for a minute I thought about it.
But you might tomorrow.
I can't have it. But I've realized, I can't have everything. It's not feasible. But
we're trying.
I walked out of Clash of the Titans. Did I ever tell you my Clash of the Titans story? I might have.
I adore that movie. I adore it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Nice. I used to, before I had a car, I went to this job and I was late. I used to take the bus. And I just remember I was really late one time. So for whatever reason, I took a cab. And I'm going up to this movie theater that was playing Clash of the Titans. And some troublemakers had gone up to the marquee and taken the AN out of Titans and put the S over on the big marquee. These days, what you would do these days, what I would have done is, there we go.
Right.
Take a picture. But you didn't have cameras then. That's one of the good things about today with phones, because having phones, but then again, there's a lot of bad things to having these phones. Like we're losing people. People just
losing touch with society.
Yeah. But like in Taxi, how many scenes they have like one payphone in the Taxi. Help me think of the word. Right. Taxi depot, and they're always like, "I'm expecting a call." No, I'm expecting a call on that phone. Don't you got to make calls on the same phone.
Yeah, what do kidnappers do these days? Because they used to have you go to a payphone to take the call for your to get your person back. What do they do now?
Too many comics may become a fire risk. Everything may become too many records may become a fire risk. Too many anything. Yeah. You should see this place. You don't want to see this place. Let me tell you. I mean, you got to get out of here. I mean,
I used to know a guy that was a newspaper hoarder. Now that's a fire risk.
That's a fire risk.
You're just begging for a fire.
Well, that happened to that guy Don in the videos, that his father burned to death in a fire. His mother and him, Don and his mom, got out, but the house, he collected newspapers, and he still loves newspapers, Don. And there were all those stacks of newspapers around the house. And I think he was cooking eggs or something, he said, in a frying pan or something. Something sparked, shot out or sparked. I think he said it was an open outlet, like electric outlet or something. And whatever it was, there was a fire. And all of these papers fell on the father, like stacks of newspapers fell on top of his father. That's what I've heard, from Don. And then, of course, years later, the firemen used to say, "You killed your father." They used to point at him and say, "You killed your father." You did that deliberately and all this. I mean, nobody knows what's true or not, but I'm just saying, it's scary. What do you mean it's all about space? I don't have any space. I don't know what space is. Oh, God. I don't know what space is.
The final frontier.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie's okay to walk out on. That's pretty worthless.
Udo Kier's awesome. I love that, and Blood for Dracula.
I think Blood for Dracula is better.
I must have Blood from the Woodgens.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. But I don't know. I find the Dracula one more palatable. So I've been listening to the soundtrack for Thief. James Caan.
Yes.
My brother loved that movie back in the day.
Another good Criterion release.
Sure. So as we're winding down, we got another 5-6 minutes. We got time for just 30-40 more questions because I got nowhere to go. Don't forget, tomorrow's the release date buy your Ringo album. Look up. My review is going to be up tomorrow on this album. And what a great back cover. Oh, man, what a great
That is awesome. That is awesome.
That man looks great there. I don't know how much of that is like faked, but it looks good. This reminds me so much in a way. Well, the back of McCartney 3 with McCartney's profile, but that's not what he's doing, but just same kind of idea.
It's a gatefold. It's a freaking gatefold record. Are you kidding me?
It's a gatefold, yeah.
I love it. I mean, they're really going all out for this.
Yeah, I got it. I haven't talked about it yet, but I'll tell you a little sneak preview. It's a Lost Highway. What is that? Lost Highway.
Lost Highway is like a roots label sort of thing. They do bluegrass and some blues and Americana. It's an Americana label, basically.
They haven't spared any.
Done a couple records for Lost Highway. I think maybe even Jack White has been on Lost Highway comps before.
This should be Ringo's last record, and I say that not because it's bad, because it's so good. I really think this is a good way to go out. Well, I really hope that he gets some kind of acclaim for this. And the beautiful thing about it is a lot of it's due to all the guests on here, the musicians, the production, T-Bone. It's a T-Bone Walker?
T-Bone Burnett.
T-Bone Burnett. I'm thinking of somebody else.
No, he has to do an album of standards to do it for his last album, so we can end it like he started it.
And I don't hear, like I said, I'm glad I can't hear any people are going to be saying, "Oh, auto-tune." I still can't decipher it unless it's outrageous, unless it's really exaggerated, and you hear the voice really get like weird. But to me, he sounds great, enthusiastic. Drumming is great. The guitar playing, I got to look up all the instruments: pedal steel, country flavoring. It's great musicianship, great singing. I love the female singers on some track. Was it Molly Tuttle? I don't even know some of these people. To me, it's a real winner, and he really hit it out of the park with this. And I hope it just change people's.
Do you think Ringo signed up for Social Security at 62?
Yeah. Oh boy, I think he did. Ringo's like, what do you want to do with the rest of his life? I just meant that in a sense that it's so good that it's a good record to go out on. That's all I meant by it.
But didn't he have 3 EPs planned? I know he turned it into an album, but wasn't the country only the second? Wasn't there a third beyond this already planned? I'm thinking
there's supposed to be another. There's another EP, I think, right?
Yeah, I thought there was.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be the last thing. I'm done with the EPs. Just make a damn album already. I'm tired. At first, though, the novelty of the EPs was good, but now I'm getting a little tired of it.
Well, and if you're gonna make an EP, every song on it should be great. That's the whole point. That you're not giving us all of the filler tracks. That you're just giving us.
Well, there's a problem with that, Tim, and it's a very basic one. It's all subjective as to what's good. I didn't like Crooked Boy, and everybody loved it.
I didn't. I haven't liked most. The first one was the best by far.
Oh, you're welcome. There you go. Let's see. Very funny. Do you have a journal of collectibles? Nope. I could make a rant video. I have Frankenhook. I think that's a fun, stupid movie. But anyway, what was I going to say? This thing. I got a good rant video to make about that. It's about Discogs. Somebody told me a while ago, put all your CDs on Discogs. I did it. It was great. Oh, so easy. So I'm in the store the other day, and I wanted to buy a few CDs, and I'm thinking, do I have these? I'm not 100% sure. Let me look. And I go on. It's been so long since I've been in there that on my phone, when I hit the app that's there, it wants me to put my information in again. So I go to type in what I think is I can't remember my username, and I do it. It's all right. You type the first letter, and then it comes up because it remembers you. So I was like, I guess that's the name I used. So I click that. Then it's like I can't remember the password for shit because it's been a while. So it says create new password. Then you do the thing where you put in a new pass. First it says we'll contact you by email. They contact you by email. Click this thing, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And every time I put in a new password, it said something's wrong. Either the password or the username's wrong. I did that like 17 times. Finally I said, I'm going back to the notebooks. I don't want to know. It's so freaking annoying. It really is. And I don't know how to get in there. I mean, I guess what you got to do is you got to write it down somewhere. I don't use the same password for everything. They say you shouldn't.
Yeah. What you can also do is you can sign in under Google or Facebook as well, which, but then again, you got to remember those passwords as well.
Exactly. But, you get older, you can't remember these things, especially if you do like they tell you to do. Don't use the same password. If change it up, change different passwords. So, as far as this goes, I really have no idea. It'll be a last-minute thing, James. I don't know. I was going to do every Friday, but now I don't know. I think we're ready to wrap it up. He mentioned her returns and not in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but Def Leppard are. Well, I don't
think Herman's should never be in the Hall of Fame.
I think they should. But he's the guy who doesn't think the Monkey should be in, so what are you going to do?
Yeah, I think they should. They're a real band. They had a bunch of hits.
Yeah.
Popularity rivaled the Beatles for about a year.
This is a sore subject. Every time it's come up, Tom too, I think we've talked about it. It doesn't matter. There are no God, I can't think of anything. God, guys, this is becoming a problem. There are there's no criteria anymore.
Yeah, right.
There isn't any. Anybody that had a record at least 25 years since their first record gets in. It's really getting like that. So then obviously they should get in. They got a lot of hits. It's ridiculous. But if you're going to go back to standards and really particular, who started everything? Oh, then you got Elvis, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, the Beatles, Dylan.
Put Frank Sinatra in the rock.
Well, that's not rock and roll.
He is. I think he is. What do you call it? Influence. That's not the word they use, but there's people that influence, and I think Sinatra is in there, just like Johnny Cash is in there, and he should be as an influence. But and if you're gonna put Dolly Parton in there, she should be in there as an influence, not as.
And I'm sorry, but I'll say it again. Connie Francis, she had early rock hits. She might have been the first rock and roller. I don't know. Those are rock songs. Stupid Cupid, Lipstick on Your Collar. Those are rock songs, and whatever else. But they put Leonard Cohen there. You could put anybody in there. They put Run DMC in there. You could put anybody in there. Yeah, I know they are. And Joan Jett did an awesome bits and pieces, amazing bits and pieces for their induction. And that's what got me back into her again after she went off the deep end, for a number of years. She came back looking like her old self and did bits and pieces.
I think Tom Hanks campaigning for Dave Clark 5 didn't hurt anything.
Oh, he campaigned for them in there?
Oh, yeah.
I know he inducted
them. It's his favorite group. He went nuts for them. Yeah.
It's his favorite group. Why is he always riding on the coattails of the Beatles projects all the time? All right, anyway.
Because it's the Beatles. I mean, who's not going to ride the Beatles coattails?
Yeah.
Even Whoopi Goldberg rides on them.
Yeah, yep.
All right, folks, that's it. Thank you all for being here. We'll try to do a next one. We'll try to do another one next Thursday is what I meant to say. And thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. We'll do it again soon. Watch some movies. Let us know what you think.